So I want to talk about my experiences being autistic at college and why I regret going to college. So my first shot, I took 2 attempts at college. My first shot was 2 years after high school. And why 2 years? Because my senior year, my dad died, and I needed a lot of time to process that. Especially my senior year was pretty insane. There was a lot of things I don't want to go into about it. I took 1 year grieving for the loss of my father, and the second year was because I screwed up my financial information. I went to this community college that was, near me, and I really didn't have any other options. My senior year, my guidance counselor didn't really help me out with college at all, which you think a guidance counselor should be doing. But no. Instead, what he said to me was, don't look at other colleges. Just go to this community college that's in town because it's dirt cheap and that's all you need. Very weird statement. The more this video goes on, the more angry I'm just going to become, so there's that to look forward to at least. Then I gone to that community college and it was all paid for with grants, but ultimately I just walked out and never went back because it was just like a repeat of high school that was just more vague and more just like, we don't give a damn about you. What made me drop out of community college also was that there was this one teacher that I mentioned that I'm autistic. It just came up naturally in conversation. They told me that I need to get learning accommodations. I was doing very well in the class, actually all across my classes, and I was told to go get learning accommodations, and the reason was because they know what they're talking about. They have a relative with autism. That's just an ignorant statement on quite a few levels. When I went through community college, I just got more resentment, more bad attitude, and just people. If there was like, I had a question on something, and I asked a teacher, I would get like this hostile attitude that I'm wasting their time or something. But a few years later, I just woke and I'm not getting anywhere in life. I can't find a good paying job and nobody will hire me because I don't have a degree or experience. I'm just working at like retail and crap. So I go back to college and I absolutely regretted it. There was this one person that kept harassing me because I'm autistic and they are the most batshit crazy ignorant person that I have ever met in my entire life. This person kept asking me, saying stupid things like, oh, how can you like drive if you have autism? Because that doesn't make sense. Anyways, eventually that person stuck doing a lab with them. They bailed out because they had to get high. The next day they kept bugging me about the lab results and I didn't give them to them. The thing escalated and I got pulled into the dean's office eventually, and he was like, so tell me about this thing where you were flipping off your students. That's a very immoral thing to do in this college. I said to him, okay, why'd you gloss over the part about her threatening to stab everyone, then I flipped her off? And the dean's actual response was, and I go, okay, this person's been harassing me because of autism, which is a condition that I'm born with. So they've actually been harassing a disabled person or somebody with a disability. And I think that's a very, very screwed up thing that you're allowing to happen. I think you guys should not talk to each other for the rest of the classes you have. Go back to class. Well, I should have dropped out right there and then, but I was too stubborn and I wanted to actually get through college without any kind of accommodations, and I want to get a degree that would help me get a better job. The school continued to go a little weird like that. So basically, I eventually had this teacher that was not a teacher at all. He was just like not really present in this thing called reality. So basically what happened was he would do weird things like send you the homework 30 minutes before it was due and complain that everybody is lazy, not doing anything, and unfair to him. And he gave one crap to one student for not having laptops, saying, you're in college, which means you have money, which means you should have a laptop, so you should actually get one and then bring it to class and type out everything on there because I don't read handwriting. That makes no sense. But I continued with college and I did my final project. I got that handed in, and I could tell that my teacher was just trying to get students to give him ideas to market it because he's an entrepreneur that has no ideas. Just trying to crowdsource ideas to put on the market, but whatever, I put up with it. And I've dealt with a lot of crap up to this point. I'm at the finish line, I do my final project, then 2 days later, the school shuts down. They got caught committing fraud because I went to ITT Tech like a fucking idiot. He showed me all these evidence that they have a high turnaround of students getting into their field, like 80-85%, and then all this other stuff. And they said they had all these big connections to big companies like Amazon and all these other high-tech areas in Boston and all around the country. And I'm from Massachusetts, so that did sound appealing to me. But it turns out they didn't. They took my resume. They had like a job search office where you can help you get a job, but they just gave it to. They sent it to a temp agency, and that temp agency sent it to a like little hole in the wall where I basically just put computers together and turned them on, and I did get a very dead-end job making $12 an hour with no benefits. And because I finished my course, I'm expected to pay every penny back with interest to the Department of Education. And I did put in a borrower's defense application to like 3 years after I finished college because I just couldn't find the document to fill out because everything I went to was just like a freaking circle of, hey, you need to do this, click on this link to find out more, and I just couldn't find it until like I can't remember how I found it, but I found it. And it's been sitting there, and I called them up recently. I'm like, what's taking so long? Everything looks good. They're still deciding. The school I went to committed fraud, and I might have to pay everything back. It's been 2 years. 2 years of that document sitting there waiting, being reviewed. No, it's not. It's not being reviewed. It doesn't take this long to go through something because they've just been sitting on their asses. So basically my college experience wasn't that good. I got harassed because I'm autistic and everyone ignored it. I got scammed and I have no way to get out of it. I feel like I was taken advantage of, and I just should have just not gone to college at all, and my life would have been a lot simpler if I just didn't. So yeah, college is just terrible in my opinion. That is my rant. Have a nice day.